Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Erika Diah. I'm from English class 301. Today, I'm going to talk about Woman with a Parasol by Claude Monet. Before that, what is art? Art is the expression or application of human activities engaged in creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual, auditory, or visual-auditory that producing and expressing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power in an aesthetic way. Then the visual art is about visual expression, which include images or objects in fields like painting, sculpture, printmaking, photography, and other visual media. Visual art is often examined through the interaction of the principles and elements of art. The principles of art include movement, unity, harmony, variety, balance, contrast, proportion, and pattern. The elements include texture, form, space, shape, color, value, and line. The various interactions between the elements and principles of art help artists to organize sensorial pleasing works of art while also giving viewers a framework within which to analyze and discuss aesthetic ideas. Tools for making visual artworks like pencils, brushes, stencils, easel, painting palette, kneaded eraser, painting knife or a palette knife, painting or drawing paper pads or canvas, etc. Okay, and now we are going to talk about Woman with a Parasol by Claude Monet, who painted in 1875. The medium that Monet used to paint Woman with a Parasol was oil paint who brushed on canvas. It was painted in the outdoors. The dimension of this artwork is 181 cm for overall or 119.4 x 99.7 cm for framed. Woman with a Parasol, or Madame Monet and her son, sometimes known as Bistro, in the French they call La Promenade, is two-dimension oil on canvas painting by Claude Monet from 1875. The Impressionist work depicts his wife Camille Monet and their son Jean Monet in the period from 1871 to 1877, while they were living in Argentine, capturing a moment on a stroll on a windy summer's day. The Monet family lived at this time in Argentine, which is now a suburb of Paris. But at the time, it was a rural village northwest of Paris. Jean is 7 years old at the time of the painting, and Madame Monet is 28 years old. Madame Monet and her son stand on a hill and they are looking towards Claude Monet, who paints the focal point on this painting is Madame Monet, who stands still on the corner of painting. In the foreground is a field with yellow-white flowers and grass. Madame Monet holds a green and blue parasol in both hands to protect herself from the sun, while her son is wearing a hat. Madame Monet wears a white-colored dress and jacket on top of it. Jean is standing behind his mother with his hands in his pocket and seems to wearing a white shirt and blue body. Based on the shadow of Madame Monet in the foreground, we know that the sunlight is coming from the top right. We can clearly see the effects of the strong wind by veil of Madame Monet, which is blown around her face, the shape of her dress, and the movement of the white flowers in the foreground. Monet integrates his wife and son with the environment. The colors of the blue sky and the white clouds come back in the top of the parasol and the clothing of Madame Monette and her son. However, we can also notice the subtle hints of the pink and yellow in the dress of Madame Monette and the usage of red and green in the head of her son. The parasol and the dress of Madame Monette are symbols of status. Even though the Monette family was not rich at all during that moment, the parasol also symbolizes protection. The countryside in the painting contrasts with the cities and industries among which Monet grew up and which he did not like. Finally, the light color of the dress refers to the purity of Madame Monet. Mood on this painting is lively, peaceful, and calming because as we can see that it was the day Monet's family spent together outside with a beautiful scenery. The category of women with a parasol is Impressionism. Monet made this painting manually using oil paints on canvas with only white, red, blue, and green colors. His shadows are mixed color, usually dark violets, and no black was ever used in his painting. Monet believed that if the lights and darks of nature are painted, the painting will then take shape. Monet created the painting in several hours to capture the moment for natural expression and spontaneous to catch the lighting before it changes. Impressionism is the category of art where the time speed is the key of painting. The Woman with a Parasol painting is in National Gallery of Art, Washington, D.C. The name of this painting is Woman with a Parasol or Madame Monette and her son, sometimes known as the Straw, and in the French this painting also called La Promenade. Basic technique and history. Woman with a Parasol was painted outdoors, probably in a single session of several hours duration. Monet intended the work to convey the feeling of a casual family outing rather than a formal portrait, and used pose and placement to suggest that his wife and his son interrupted their stroll while he captured their likenesses. Monet used natural and bright color to portray the situation. The brevity of the moment portrayed here is conveyed by a repertoire of animated, smooth, and spontaneous brushstroke of vibrant color creates splash of color. Hallmarks of the style Monet was instrumental in forming. Bright sunlight shines from behind Camille to within the top of her parasol and the flowing cloth at her back, while colored reflections from the white flowers below touch her front with yellow. The painting was one of 18 works by Monet exhibited at the Second Impressionist exhibition in April 1876 at the Gallery of Paul Grand Rue. In 1965, the painting was bought by American philanthropist Paul Mellon and his wife Bunny Mellon. They donated the painting in 1983 to the National Gallery of Art, Washington, D.C. I think that's all. Sorry for the mistakes. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.